There was Devil Doll in England, which got no play here in the States. And then there was ours.
Hey, you know what I think?
Now, what do you think?
We're gonna be a star.
I got a phone call from a gentleman named Doc Erickson, who said he was the executive producer on this film.
I sat in the case.
Here we go, his sad story.
Yep, just sat in that damn case and waited for something to happen. And eventually it did. We got a call to audition for a motion picture.
And you were happy about that, weren't you?
Yeah, I sure was.
I'll have.
Careful.
I'll be careful with him, always careful.
Mercy. I was getting very bored back there. Oh, easy. Oh. Hemorrhoids, you know.
Hemorrhoids, fiberglass hemorrhoids.
Well, it hurts nonetheless. Am I on camera now? Shall I show them all my stuff?
Your stuff.
Yeah, the goodies that I can do.
Whatever makes you happy.
Hup, that's all.
You see the broad with the big jugs?
You mean the young lady in the feathers? Yeah, I see her. So on.
Wonder if she like a roll in the shavings with me.
Well, originally it was a best-selling novel by Bill Goldman, and I had read it and said, well, it's kind of interesting. The book, Magic, but it's actually Fats's diary. Fats is writing the book, and it says, from the diary of Fats. And there are a few more violent moments in the book, and the backstory explains who Corky is.
There are not three guys alive that can do what you can with those cards. Oh, I'm telling you, kid, you're as good as the game.
Sure. Another Houdini.
And it was going to be produced by Joe Levine, and I knew the name. He produced 400 films by that time. And it was going to be directed by Norman Jewison, a Canadian director. And I was going to start a guy named Jack Nicholson, who I certainly had heard of. And so I was interested. They had found me through Edgar Bergen. They had approached Edgar Bergen originally, and he said, I'm too old and I'm too rich, but I know a guy that's a little bit younger and could probably pull it off. Subsequently, Norman Jewison pulled out of the film. We had no director, and Jack Nicholson pulled out because he wouldn't wear a hairpiece. So there we were, without a director and without a star. And also in the cast, it was supposed to be Sir Laurence Olivier was going to play the agent Ben Green part. And he got very ill and was in a London hospital, so we lost him and brought in Burgess Meredith. And then it was still up for grabs as to who was going to play the part. And any number of people like Al Pacino and Gene Wilder and even Chevy Chase were thought of. And when Richard Attenborough came on board as the director, he had just done a film called A Bridge Too Far. And Anthony Hopkins was one of many, many people who were in it. And he said, well, you know, if he can come up with an American accent and lose a little weight, you know, he might pull it off.
You mean you're not gonna change my diamond? Jesus Christ.
What?
It turned into a heart while I was holding it.
Oh, Magic. Oh. That's one of those showbiz stories, you know. I was all set to play the character. What's his name? Fats. Yeah. Only they wanted to change the way I looked because they wanted Fats to look like, what's that actor's name?
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. Tony. And that just didn't happen. So I got replaced.
Dudley was considered too cute.
I heard that.
And they wanted to change his features, you know, to more resemble Anthony Hopkins, and actually to be more of a caricature of his features. And there was one point where Joe Levine actually wanted to buy Dudley, and we couldn't agree on a price. And then he wanted to rent him, but I knew that they were going to change his features, and I liked him just the way he was.
So then I came along, and I replaced that other pipsqueak, and I did the movie.
See, I'm catching.
I think I sound like a cross between Tony and Bugs Bunny, but nobody else does.
Cute? Phil, yes. Sexy, yes. Ronald Reagan is cute.
It was interesting. I don't like being blamed for all them murders, though. I think it was Tony that was really doing it. Oh! I'd seen Tony on television a long time ago in something called QB7, and he played a German soldier, and I swear I thought he was a German actor. He's so clever. And he plays the piano, great concert pianist. He used to, between takes and setups and doing all that technical crap, you know, he would go over and play on the piano, and he was terrific. Anything you could name, he could play. He was just fabulous. He did everything I told him to do. Do you remember when I told him to spin around, get a knife? You remember that scene?
That says touch the ceiling. That says spin around. That says get a knife.
That's my favorite scene.
Who was your teacher? ¿Quién enseñó?
A man called Dennis Alwood. Lives here in Los Angeles.
Un ventríloco de aquí de California.
Yes.
Is it difficult? Es una cosa difícil, el ventriloquismo.
No, I used a pencil or a pen.
Para el aprendizaje.
Oh, Tony, when we first met? Oh, I kind of promised I would never tell.
He really didn't know what he was going to look like. And he had actually practiced with Dudley, just to get the feel of how heavy he was and so forth. But we took the figure up to his house in Beverly Hills. And I got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, come get this blank dummy out of my house. It's freaking me out. I'm going to throw it into the canyon. So I called Dickie Attenborough, and we met at Fox, and he said, well, I'll have to go up and see what I can do. And he was gone for several hours, and came back, and he said, I think I talked him down, and he's willing to. But he didn't realize that it was going to be a caricature of himself with all of his least flattering characteristics. But I think he got used to it. I don't think they ever really hit it off.
Nah, he didn't like me at all. No, I'm sorry, Tony, but we just didn't get along.